dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. Yep. It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you this evening, right? Why? Because I said so, and we typically do. I mean, I rarely seen where we didn't do well, right? So I'm just expecting or telling y'all what I'm expecting, right? Speaking those things be not as they may, as some may say. And we're going to be talking about how is marriage a flex, or is marriage a flex? There's so many different relationship conversations that are happening in this space. And what was interesting about one particular podcast that I saw, the guy was asking these individuals, these men that were single, if you all are such gurus on the element of how to find a wife, then why don't y'all have one? It was something to that degree. And they seemed to be kind of offended, which otherwise, I don't know why they would be. It was just a general question. They can answer it for themselves. But nevertheless, I know for me, being married, people look at me different. People look at other people different. So, but that's me. But I want to see what the panel has to say about, is marriage a flex, or how is it a flex? Okay. And so the first question up. Oh, and don't forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, whatever button is free, hit that one. Okay. And then we're gonna get this thing started. All right. So the question that we have is, what is something you wish people would stop assuming about you and ask instead? We're gonna bring up to the stage. She ain't been here in a while. Not my fault. It is hers. She know who it is. Miss Ash in the building. Okay.
You are very shaded. But anyway,
Listen, at least I'm consistent. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What you got on it? What is something you wish people would stop assuming about you and ask instead?
I don't know, because they do ask.
They do.
Well, I would say, because a lot of people think that, one, I am married, and some people ask, and I'm like, no, because I guess because I wear this ring. I never knew that a single ring was married. I don't know.
Listen, all they probably see is the ring on the left hand. That's probably what they see.
No, it's the other one I wear on this hand that tricks them. I have a band with the scripture on it, and they're like, "You married? Like, it's on the wrong hand." I'm like, nah, fool, it's right here. I'm not married, duh. That's the only thing I got. That's the only thing I got, because it trips them up because they see the band, but they not getting that it's on the wrong hand.
Man, so dudes that are not that bright be coming up to you talking about, are you married? We'll
Yes,
talk
they
about
do.
that later. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
I
Get
ain't
your
got
piece
nothing
out.
else to say.
Okay, because you ain't been here. You know what I'm saying? You've been flaking out, but it's cool.
You gonna let me do my job unless you
My,
ready to pay
my bad.
unless
I
you
mean,
ready
it
to pay
was
the
a new
bill.
time. Yeah, I'm just going ahead and getting it out the way before we get into the show, right? All right. So if I don't do it, Prototype will lost the translation.
So y'all want a box early, so just let me know,
Yes.
because we can swing. Okay, that's fine.
And here we go. Welcome to the stage, Miss Jamie in the building. What up, Jamie?
What's up? So you may answer the question, what is something you wish people would stop assuming? That I am bougie or stuck up.
So you want them they assume it?
Yeah, they do
So
assume
you want them
anything.
to say, "Are you bougie? Are you?"
I just want them to like stop assuming that I'm not like approachable as far as like or friendly. You know what I'm saying? They just assume that I'm not wanting to talk.
Why do you think a guy would assume?
Oh, is this from a guy
Oh, a
point of?
girl. Okay, I didn't know.
Oh
You
no,
said
I was like, yeah. I
it's in
mean, I don't
general.
have a problem with guys.
Oh,
Like
okay.
but it's usually.
Oh, but there are women that be saying like they just assume that you're bougie. Okay, interesting. All right, that's a bit. We appreciate you being here as usual.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And welcome to the stage, my homie. Hey, he'll tell you how it is. Prototype in the building. That boy got his own claps. And bring your own claps with you. What you got?
Man. People assume that like I'm stubborn and would never change my mind. But young Jamie over here proved the whole world wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah, the people will just not even ask because of like, oh, he's already know what he's gonna say.
Well, you think that's because you're firm from the jump? Why do you think people think that?
I mean, yeah. But still, like have a conversation. I think people are more it's their insecurities of being afraid of having the conversations opposed to me not being able to change my mind. That's just them saying, oh, I know what he's going to say because they're scared to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's good. That makes sense. That's what's up. Appreciate you for being here as usual. And welcome to the stage, the sultry voice himself, Lost in Translation.
Good evening, sir. How are you this evening?
Good evening. What you got on it?
Good. What is something that I wish people would stop assuming about me is that I don't care, you know? Most of the time, people may assume that just because I'm firm, that it doesn't mean that I don't care. You know, it's one of those situations where I actually do more listening than talking, so it's kind of hard for them to pick up on what I'm thinking. But most of the time, I'm listening to them. You know, because sometimes you have to fight through their insecurities, so that way you can share what you know that they're missing. So a lot of times, people think just because I'm quiet means that I don't care, and I really do.
That's what's up. That makes sense. That's what's up. Hey, and welcome, as always, Lost in Translation. Appreciate you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, and my friend, my homie, my accountability partner, the one that's about to not be on mute because I have faith in it. None other than Dwayne Jones.
What up, beautiful people?
Oh!
Yeah. I'll be here all night.
That's what you got on it, bro.
You know, that I can't get down in the kitchen. Yeah. I'll be taking stuff to work, like cooking and stuff. And then people like, your wife made this? Like, man, no. I made that. Yeah. Come on now.
What's your best dish?
Man, you know what? I don't know.
I'll
say tonight.
Chili and rice.
One more time.
Chili and rice.
Close. I actually made a white chicken chili tonight. Oh man, it was banging. Oh, with the cilantro, with some jalapenos on top, mozzarella. Mix that on up. Never mind.
Ooh,
as you work.
Hey, save something for your boy. Say something for your boy. All right, I would say the one thing that people kind of assume about me is that I'm mean. I don't care. Jamie, what is that? Come off mute. What is that, Jamie?
I would have to agree. You give that like dad energy of like I'm not taking nobody's nothing.
I am a dad.
I know, but like you
and I'm not taking nobody nothing. But what I'm saying is
she bougie.
That I care.
She bougie.
I'm bougie.
She bougie.
Oh, she bougie. Oh, for sure. Like I do care. You know what I'm saying? Like that I'm serious most of the time because it's things that need to get taken care of most of the time. You know what I mean? So but I do like to have fun. It's just that I gotta have everything else put together in a way sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how my mind is. But yeah, I'm actually I enjoy encouraging people. and making them see the light bulb come on, especially since I'm a teacher in all facets, I guess. Okay, so let's get it started. All right, so here we go. First question. We're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna break down, how do you describe a flex? Like, how do you describe a flex? Because people, it's kind of like an urban terminology that we out here flexing, or people have flexed on me. All right. So we'll start with Lost in Translation. You're on Dwayne mode.
Appreciate it. Listen, a flex is something that everybody can't do, man. I'll give you an example, like playing the piano. That is something that everybody cannot do. You know what I mean? It takes years of training, practice, skill, you know what I mean? Learning different techniques, that type of thing. So anything that takes a lot of work, it is definitely a flex, in my opinion. And I'm going to go with Ash this time.
I'm glad them kids don't live out of here. I'm gonna say the blonde. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Blonde. That's my answer. What? You're on mute. I can't hear you. What? I don't do lip. I don't read lip.
I said, you said blunt.
Blunt.
Oh, blunt. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, blunt. Yeah.
I got it.
And I'm gonna go with Jamie.
When we give this definition, are we giving our point of view, or like, okay, so
It's always your point of view.
okay. I have both. So it would be Lost in Translations and Ash's answer together. To me, it's something that's hard to do, and you've conquered that. And then it makes you boastful about it. Like, okay, I did that. You get what I'm saying? But mine has to have both for it to be considered a flex. So I don't want to flex on anything that everybody else is doing, but I just make it look better. Does that you get what I'm saying? Because people flex, they boast about things that are not really worth boasting about. And that's my answer. Let's go with Prototype.
Flexing is bragging. Don't flex. You know what I'm saying? Don't brag. Don't flex. You know what I mean? Stay safe. Don't go to the hood and be flexing because you get robbed. So yeah, no, flexing is bragging. I don't know why y'all putting anything on something you accomplished. No, flexing is bragging. What you got, Dwayne?
Yeah, y'all took it off. It's the ability to brag, right? Like being able to do it, being able to like show out. Because like Lost said, not everybody can do it. Like y'all all said, not everybody can do it. But if you can do it and you go get out there, some people just do it just to make other people feel bad.
That's what's up. So I looked up the definition. I think this is Urban Dictionary. It says showing off your valuables in a non-humble way. Pretty much what you all kind of said, right? So kind of given that as the theme of this evening, we're going to kind of talk about that from a particular vantage point, right? So what I would like for you to do is put your mind at the point of not necessarily you, but how other people may see this question. So this question is, how are married men viewed? How are married men viewed? All right. Yeah, how are married men viewed? How do you think that what's the public perception of married men? Not necessarily your perception, which we'll talk about that in a minute, but how do you think people see married men? We'll rock with you first, Prototype.
In a non-black cultural sense, like everybody, it's trustworthy, it's reliable, it's for the community, it's everything a man should be, idolized as, you know what I mean, respected as. It's respected, having a family, being married, having a woman that trusts you with their life, that other people will view that like, man, if he got a wife, he can't be that bad. So somebody married him, right? In a black community, though, I don't think married people are really revered at all for the most part. I mean, some to a certain degree sometimes, but I think more the negatives are spoke about in our community opposed to how the world sees married people. So we'll go with Jamie.
Ooh. I don't have anything to add to what Prototype just said. I actually agree with that completely. So that's my answer. Is I'm in agreement, and I'm going to shoot it to. Let's go with Lost.
All right, thank you. I think most guys, most people look at married men as a fraternity, man. You know, it's a brotherhood. You ever get a whole bunch of married guys around, they start telling married guy jokes and they just get each other. You know what I'm saying? I think most guys who've been married can relate to that, you know, shared experiences, that type of thing. And like Prototype said, those guys are respected because they've done what they need to do. They provided for a family. They're unselfish, you know, those type of things. So I think most people look at husbands or guys are trustworthy, you know, of good quality, you know, because everybody don't get a chance to get married, you know. So that's what I look at. And I'm gonna go with Dwayne this time.
You know what? This one was a good question because it took me a while to come up with an answer. I still ain't got one.
Is that what
Oh,
makes
man.
it a good question, Dwayne?
Yes, for me, absolutely. Because
But you always say you have a GED education, and then you fall back
exactly.
on
That's why
this.
I'd be struggling. I'd be struggling. Man. It's hard out here. No, but this is a good question because like how is it viewed? Like it's viewed in it just depends on the circle in which you're in. Like for me, like the circle in which I'm in, it's like just like what Prototype made mention of it, right? But like from a societal standpoint, society like looks at it bad. Like okay, I'll put it like this. I'll put it in reference of me. I remember saying something to my a coworker of mine, Andre. Man, why ain't you going out to the club, man? Why ain't you doing this such and such and such and such? And Andre, by this time, he was in his mid ages, had married, 2 kids. He was good, and he said, "Man, why do I go out there messing with ground beef when I got steak at home?" And I'm telling you, like that resonates to me to this day still because it's like, man, straight up, he's putting it out there like how it is. Like we could be out there messing around, or other people could be out there messing around whenever they can actually find them a good thing, right? And settle down with. Like finding a wife is a blessing. It is a good thing. So before I get into how I look at it, that's society looks at it as in a negative, but depending on your circle, I see it as a positive.
You gonna call on somebody?
The last person.
You can call on me or Ash.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead,
ladies first.
I'm sorry. I'm along with Dwayne. I don't have anything. I mean, y'all took everything because it is a husband. He's like Prototype said, depending on how you look at it, he's viewed as value. Depends on if you take it from our culture, because our culture think if you're married, that means you don't want a bag or something. Or if you look at it from other people's standpoint, they look like they find them somebody they can trust, believe in. They ain't got to worry about if they go home, the lights and stuff gonna be off. The kids, he can wrangle the kids when they getting out of control. It's just like he's a guy that really, I guess you could say, is thinking outside himself, and he's thinking of his home. Make sure his home is properly ran. That's the word I'm gonna use, ran. So, Homo Dad, that's on you.
That's what's up. I when you said that, it kind of made me think about that people view married men as dependable, um, but I can't necessarily say loyal, right? Because how I have just being in these streets, if you will, and talking to different people, they will say that the man is dependable because he is bringing home, whether it's money or whether he is there. They almost kind of reduce it to money though, but but then when it comes to loyal, they seem to believe that the majority of married men are cheating. That's what it seems like in these spaces and talking to women and well, not to men, but to talking to women. So, but also, as Dwayne was saying, it kind of does depend on the circle that you in, because me and Dwayne would go to church together. The men that are there, the married men, like to be a deacon, you pretty much have to be married at our church. You know, it is that in the Bible, but I don't think that there was a guy that was single that was qualified to be a deacon at our church. Am I right, Dwayne?
I believe so.
Yeah. So you're highly respected and also looked at as a position, put in a position of authority at the church that we was going to. But then if I go and the current church that I'm attending, it's a lot of married couples there, and even younger people are married, or at least coming together with a man and a woman that are coming together on a frequency. So and the pastor kind of talks a lot about his wife, which is an indication of him being excited about being married. I would say that to some degree, how the media spins it is that the married man has been exhausted from being married. This is the old ball and chain, as they would say. This woman is bringing me down. So marriage, the married man is also seen to be the one that's the buffoon, that he's always befuddled. I can think of even Bill Cosby, Tim Allen, Damon Wayans, what is it? Everybody Loves Chris. I mean, all of these different guys that were married were not seen in a positive light. So I would say that it really depends on the circle that you're in, the lens in which you're looking through. Right? So, and I'll start off like this: how I see married men, the ones that are taking care of their business. I see married men as saying that I'm willing to sacrifice myself for my family. I'm willing to also not only in the sacrifice that I had or am giving, but I'm also seeing that I have a responsibility that I'm willing to take on, that in the end, I'm going to be better as a result of it. Right. So I see married men that are like that I'm willing to also put pride aside. That's what's big. Because before, our egos are huge. I know Prototype's ego is still big, but at the same time, as a married dude, he's more humble than he probably was before, because he has to be. Yeah, you are. Because you have to be you have to be sacrificial to some degree. Go ahead, Prototype. What you want to say about that?
I'm worse now.
Really, your ego. So tell me why you worse now,
I mean,
bro.
because I don't really look at it. That's when you was mentioning all that stuff. I'm like, you see all of that, because
Yes.
that's not why I got married at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got married for very selfish reasons. You know,
I know that's what it is. You probably got married for selfish reasons, but I'm
and
saying
it's still selfish. It's
there's
still very selfish.
but there's sacrifices that you're having to make.
No, it's selfish as heck. Mm-mm. I don't make any sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
You don't make any sacrifice.
no.
So your wife don't get to decide on anything.
Mm.
So she can't say what y'all gonna
No,
eat.
she could. I'm welcome to. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So then
But that helps me. That helps me though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the less thinking I have to do as an adult. Like, I got married so I don't have to adult all the time by myself. You know what I'm saying? I needed help with my thinking. I needed help with, my legacy. I needed, you know what I'm saying? Like, to keep me out of trouble, you know what I mean? To also look trustworthy. So when I'm on these interviews and making money, like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he's married, so he must be trustworthy. Like, it's very selfish. Like, it has nothing to do with making sacrifices or any of that. It's because I was raised by a single mom, and I knew I could do a way better job. You know what I'm saying? Like it's me correcting and destroying a lot of the curses and the problems that I grew up with, and me making my point in my stance and why I'm doing X, Y, Z. It's also now I do flex with it because I like taking my family out. You know what I'm saying? And then into the most 5-star restaurants, and everybody's like, "Why are they here?" Or "That's a nice black family," or this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like now that is all about flexing. I would be like, "Hey, everybody, get dressed and let's show everybody why we great." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Is that exactly what you say?
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? So I walk through these restaurants and these white neighborhoods, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I'm flexing the heck out of my family,
What
though.
about the Indian neighborhoods? Because they the one that at the top.
Oh, all of them. All
Oh,
of I live in a mixed cult. I live in like I have Indian neighbors, Asian neighbors. I got all types of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
did you say cult?
culture.
Oh, culture. My bad.
Yeah. So like, yeah, man, I got all types of different neighbors. You know what I mean? Or so whatever's in the community, and like I said, we go to restaurants. I dress my family up, and we go parade around. You know what I'm saying? Peacocking, like yeah, we the black family in the town. You know what I'm saying? And we this and we that, and we breaking all the stereotypes. You know what I mean? I got a shirt I like to wear that says "Never sold dope" because I never sold drugs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like all the stereotypes. I'm here to break all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did it.
Well,
Selfish.
humble me then. That's what. That's what's up. That's my bad, bro. I appreciate that. Who you got?
Let's go with loss.
You know, while you playing, my dad used to do the same thing as Prototype did. We used to get dressed up, man, and everything, man. To go, he said, I'm gonna show you how to use these forks and knives at these nice restaurants and stuff. So I agree with Humble Dad on that. I agree with Prototype on that one because we used to do the same thing, man. We used to do the same thing.
I would like to. I think I might change up some things after hearing Prototype say that. Listen, say kids, we're about to go out here and show these people in all our humility that we are what that is. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to these restaurants, dress up, make sure our forks and our spoons in the right place, right? And then we're gonna be like, yeah, we here, we made it. That's hilarious.
I let the babies. I got a 6-year-old. He orders for filet mignon and crab cakes. I don't say no to nothing. Y'all go ahead and order everything y'all want. We flexing tonight. Everything.
Why you shaking your head, bro?
Serious.
I can't even I thought I was the only person that did that.
Mm-mm.
To hear somebody else say that they take their kids out like that, I did the same thing. Cause okay, like no lie, I can relate to Prototype, but I'm on the single mom spectrum of it. Like when I take my kids out, like when I say we go to like Ocean Air, Sugar Factory, and all this type of stuff, I sit back and tell my kids, hey, order. We finna act like we got some sits. We gonna put on some clothes. Everybody ain't putting on, show it off, show all your goodies off. You gonna put on some decent clothes. We gonna go in here, sit down, and we gonna order what we gonna order. Like my kids, they done been to, what is that? Perry Steakhouse here. That's a nice steakhouse. Like I believe in showing my kids. Just because I'm a single mom doesn't mean that you can't experience certain things. Like I said, I took my kids to to Florida and Colorado all in 1 week for Christmas. Like it's like I'm trying to show them that just because you're a single mom doesn't mean you can't do certain things for your kids. It's a lie. Like it's a facade. Like I never say, oh well, your daddy didn't send it, so I guess I can't get it. Now I'm like, hey, see y'all about 2 days. I'm gonna go in my room, go to sleep. And when they know when payday come, because I'm like, let's go. It's 2:00 in the morning. Road trip to Dallas. What? Just because I said so. Because we're going to Great Wolf. A road trip to Dallas just because I said so. It's your birthday. You said Sugar Factory. We on the road. We gone. Like I believe in doing stuff like that because I don't want you to ever think that just because you're a single mom you can't do it. Who lied? No, they don't want to do it. I'm gonna show you how to get it. You don't have to work a bare minimum job and make yourself suffer. That's why I drive the bus. I don't care. I had a lady get on my bus today, just drove me absolute crazy. But guess what? We not gonna pull that bus over and stop. We not gonna quit. I don't care nothing about that lady. Cause guess what? She gotta get on and off. I need this money so I can fund this lifestyle. Cause right now I'm being tortured about an iPhone, and I'm not gonna buy no phone. I'm sorry. It's just certain things I just don't feel like buying. I'm just not gonna do it. But I do
So
agree
you're
with
not gonna flex on the phone, but you'll flex on the
man. Look,
phone.
here, I'm tired of buying phones. Like 1 year, what was it? A couple years ago before we moved, I was buying phones every Christmas. Like, I'm sick of phones. You're not getting another phone until you break it. And if you do break it, you're gonna have to see your papa about it because that's who fixed the last one. So I ain't got nothing to do with that fight.
Interesting. I
Is
got you. I got you.
I guess you would say it look go in line with the flex. That's I guess you could say my kids is my biggest flex because the experience I want you to have when you leave me, because I always say this, and I said this to my best friend, is I don't want somebody little ratchet little nappy head boy that done got himself a little piece of something to come in my kid's face and dangle somewhere. Dangle that they done been to Florida or anywhere. My goal is to take you places to let you know that this is out there. So when somebody comes along, it's not like you saying I've been there. It's like you're not wowed by it. You know, if they do decide to take you somewhere, it's not like, oh my God, I've never been here. Oh my God. And then when he's mistreating you, you feel like you got to stay because they're giving you these trinkets. No, I treat
That's
you to the fun
interesting.
things.
That's an interesting perspective. Dwayne, what you got?
Man, hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Cause I don't do none of that like that way. Flexing. You ever flex so hard one time you catch a cramp? Boy, it make you flex differently. All right. So yeah, no, I know. Filet mignon and all that. Hey, let me tell you, I'm cheap. Okay? I'm cheap. I I only flex and it's just like right over. No, going out to restaurants, man. From a young age, if you gonna tax me, I'm gonna find out how to do it, and I'm gonna do it for myself. Y'all, as we're going out to eat, like the filet mignon and all that, no. I get it. I really do. I'm gonna go to that grocery store. I'm gonna get a big old pack of that filet mignon, and I'm gonna cook like 5 times as much as I'm gonna save too in the process. So that's how I look at it. Like sometimes, yeah, as for dressing up, that's just a part of life. If we need to go somewhere, I don't lavish. That's not me. And the funny thing, a buddy of mine, we were like, we're not those type of people. That's a little joke we have. We're not those type of people. Because like for us, like my wife and I, we're more down the road. We'll enjoy. We'll stack up. We'll preserve for now, and we have the long game in mind. So yes, we can have fun now, but we ain't reckless with it. That's my 2 cents.
That's what's up. Jamie, on you. What you got? You bragging? You doing?
Okay, so I grew up in a house like we're pretty wealthy. So my dad, we had money, and then we've been like dirt poor. And so going into life, I just never wanted to be dirt poor again or ever experience that, but I didn't want the wealthy life either. So my dad was a flexer. He would have us get dressed and we would go to expensive places, and he would show off his family because it wasn't in his nature or in his lineage to even be a family person, right? So but and I enjoyed that. I would go into stores and he said whatever she touched she can have. Okay, that's give it to her. But when I grew up, I was like, no, I have rules. I have sets of money. I don't flex because I also did watch how if my dad flexed, people around him would either want something or use him, or you know what I'm saying. And so watching that and how friends turned or whatever made me go, okay, I've got to live a little bit smarter than my parents did. But yeah, I've lived the flex lifestyle, but I've also lived the broke lifestyle. And so right now I'm just right there, just nice. So I like nice.
Like nice, the broke lifestyle.
Budget friendly. Budget
A
friendly.
budget friendly. That's what's up. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with a budget. I think it's important for everybody to have one, even if you got money. It makes sense to have a budget. You know what I'm saying? If you can splurge, then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna splurge this amount. I mean, if you feel like you could drop a G or two, you know what I'm saying, to go out to eat, just make sure you know how you're gonna get it back, or it has already been planned on how you're gonna spend it.
Right.
That's my take on it. Because I think that majority of our community doesn't have financial literacy skills. They want to be flashy, but not responsible. You can't do both. I guess you could, right? You could be. I take that back, because there are people that are flashy and responsible, right, with their money, but the majority of us are trying to don't want to be responsible. I remember a conversation I was having with somebody. They had suggested somebody to come see me about how to put together a budget, and they told me, I told them to come to you, but I didn't want to come to you because I didn't want you to tell me what to do with my money. So you recommended me to somebody because you know I would be a benefit to them, but you didn't want me to help you with your money. Like, how that makes sense? But that's how it is, though. That we think that because we are making a budget, that means we can't spend our money how we want to spend it. What a budget means is I know where my money is going every time I spend it. That's what that means. So holla at your boy, or you can go see Dave Ramsey, or even just look it up on YouTube, how to put together a budget, because everybody needs to have one. As we transition, we just talked about the men. For those that don't think that we talk about men on the show, you know what I'm saying? So if you're tuning in now we're going to give the perspective of the woman. And if you're tuning in now, you might have to rewind it. So we're going to talk about it like this. How are married women viewed? How are married women viewed? We'll start with you, Jamie. How are married women viewed? Now, we can do it like this. You can come from your perspective, or you can come from the perspective of how you think people see it or see them.
Can I come from this perspective of like listening to other married women, not based on my podcast, but like on just like you having clients?
However you want to do it, you can. I was just giving some options.
Okay. So based on my clients, married women are viewed as the prize. Like he chose her. That they could be possibly living the soft life. It just depends on, it's an assumption that they're living the soft life, and that I wouldn't say no, cater to. So kind of like he chose her, she's the princess, she's the prize, and that is the overall view that I get. Dwayne.
Well, all right. So from the outside, I would say oppressed. The patriarchy. Come on, guys. It's not no surprise. Come on now, y'all over there raising the eyebrows. It's the patriarchy. So from there, they're oppressed. They don't get no voice. They're miserable.
I'm just shocked you said it. Now that was my initial was going to say that, but then I was like, I'm not trying to get canceled, and so, but
I ain't got nothing to be canceled.
I couldn't believe that you said that. That's why my eyebrows look like that. Like, okay.
Come on now. All right, whoever's next, come on with it.
You got to call on somebody next.
Man, come on, man. We in there.
Listen, man, I'll go.
Thank you, Prototype.
Only in the black community is the patriarchy. Like, that's only a black thing. In a generalized society, man, like married women are protected. They're respected. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing but blessings. Like, look, I'm in the softball, baseball, youth community, youth sports community, in that realm, everybody's in majority married. Like, you know what I mean? So it's looked at as a positive.
That's
You know what I'm saying? And it's looked at with nothing negative and oh, I'm oppressed or this or that. None of that. You know what I mean? And most of those circles it's nothing, it's all positive. So it's only when you put it in the black sense is like, oh, you must be oppressed or blah 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 or this, you know what I mean? It's only black people who's doing this. You know what I mean? And you might hear there's some, I mean, there's the loud minority is what you're referring to, Jamie. Is if you're hearing other cultures speak on it, that's the loud minority. But the most of them, they're chilling. They're happy. They're not doing none of this extra stuff, and they're over here being the team moms, and they're happy about it, and they're in the dugouts, and they're happy about it, and they're all like working as a family unit. And being in the sports, if you got kids in sports and you see it from that perspective, that's when you see it like, oh, this is what it means, opposed to seeing what we see on social media. You know what I'm saying? So you get a real perspective at that point, and particularly not the black sports, right? Like the baseballs, the softballs, the tennis. Like you see a whole different society within that. Like you still get shunned and shamed, like looked at funny if you're if you're in a single, oh, like I've heard conversations with about, oh well, that's a single mom, or oh, the kid is acting this way because they're in a divorce. Like people are talking still like that in these circles, opposed to that being the norm where kids are growing up without in a single parent home.
Yeah, it's a lot of single mothers at basketball and football games. When I took when I took my son Joshua to robotics, it was a lot of married people there. It was a robotics competition, and it was very few of us there.
Absolutely, facts.
Yeah, and in the school that they attend is I would say the majority blacks, but it's a good mixture of all ethnicities, right? And so um, our team probably had the most blacks on it compared to anybody else in the DFW area, right? So, but let it be something else that's outside of STEM. For whatever reason, maybe it's that single mothers, that's all they may think about. I don't know. But this is the thing that we had. This is the thing that I thought about it like this, because on Saturday, the men in our family for the first time got together and we did a men's talk, and just to let everybody know who we were, because we have a large family now, and most of my younger cousins, I don't even know who their kids are. Right? We don't know each other, so we got together and we started talking, and so it was probably about 12 men of age. Right? I would say from, I think, about 28 to 60, which is my uncle, right? And so we're having a conversation, and then everybody has to introduce themselves, and the younger crew introduced themselves, and they had to talk about what they wanted to become. And there was only maybe, out of the 8 kids that stood up, I think only one of them wanted to be an athlete, as opposed to prior to, like, the adult males that stood up. I think I was the only guy that didn't say sports. 2 of us, sorry, didn't say sports. Right? Everybody else did. But then our kids, they think differently because we think differently, and dads put them in different things. That's my thought process. I could be wrong. I haven't did the data on it. It's just an interesting point, though. Like I've said, when I went to football and basketball, it was a lot of single parents. When I went to baseball and softball, it was more married couples off the top, and less of us, for sure. Go ahead, Ash.
But the thing is, you know why, don't you? Let's just put it out there.
Put it
Dwayne
out.
wanted to start it, so I'm gonna go ahead and swing too. That's that meal ticket up out of there. That's the meal ticket up out of that single mother.
Wow.
You ain't never seen that. You ain't never looked at that. How some of these mothers drive these boys so hard and go so hard for them to be on the team. Because I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that put their kid on a traveling team. I think it was basketball, and the baby was failing high school. Baby wasn't even about to graduate, none of that. but he got Jordans. He on this team. You know, going through all your little money, and you know, and you got money problems on top of that, but you're trying to make sure he stay on this team because you see that as a promising future. Like I tell my kids, why go do what everybody else doing? Because you're not the only one. And I always tell them that you're not the only one looking at that spot. In order for you to have that spot, you got to work at it. Because just because you see it don't mean somebody else is looking at it. So I really don't push for them to play basketball or cheerleader and nothing like that. I let them do them. Like, find what you're good at. Just because I want you to play the clarinet, don't mean this might not be not for you. Because I have a trumpet player, okay? You know, she didn't want the flute or nothing like that. She wanted to play the trumpet, so I bought it. But you know, I let you be you because at the same time, if you're good, you're good, and she is good because she started playing the trumpet during COVID, so she didn't have the one-on-one instructor, you know, at school, so she started at home, and girl can blow. Hey, I'll buy you another one if that's what you really want to do, because that's something you're interested in. It's not something that I'm forcing. And I don't like the fact that we force our kids to do something that we think we're going to get a return on. Like, have you not seen some of the kids? They, they, like, like I said, I have my babies that ride my bus and they know I don't want them on there. They're supposed to be at school already. And I tell them, I said, why do I see you? I changed my schedule so I don't have to see you. What you doing here? What you doing? You know, because I want you to know somebody care. Like, get your butt to school. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it may not be something that you want to do, but that's a sign of completing something. You have some type of groundwork, you know. College ain't for everybody. I can't say go to college. No, I can't say that because I didn't finish. But yet you can show that you finished something, and then you can take that and go somewhere else and probably get some work history, or you know, like
I don't think that means
something.
that you can't. That don't mean you can't tell.
Not
College.
necessarily not work history,
But
but
I'm
I'm like,
saying you can still tell them to go to college, but it needs to be an explanation behind it. You know
here
what
you
I'm saying?
go.
I didn't become a millionaire yet. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell my kid don't become a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
not saying that. It's just that when I smell the weed, I can't say stop smoking weed because I don't know what your home life is. Like, I only do so much, say so. I guess I say so little because I don't know what you're going through at home or what you're trying to escape at home. So I never tried to overdo it. Now I have talked to a child that was like he was asking me about the bus and you know driving, you know, am I good? I was like, yeah, I'm good, but I don't recommend this for you. I said, if you're gonna go to college, go. Like, you want to be a doctor, go for it. I said, don't let me see you as a coworker because you got potential. Don't stop here. You know, I'll extend my info only if I see it's reachable. But I know it's kind of hard to say. I hate being biased like that, but sometimes I just kind of let kids go because you never know what the home life is. And this could be their escape because some kids do escape at school. That's how they be themselves, or they escape when they're around their friends, if that makes sense.
yeah, I got you. You just different from me. I tell them when they wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I do tell them well wrong. Hey, why
What
do
I'm
I?
saying is, it does for me. It doesn't matter what your home life was. I didn't have a great home life necessarily growing up. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the hood. I grew up in poverty. You know, but my mindset was different. Like, my mom raised a dude that had to think, had to be analytical, had to take care of his siblings. Uh, you know, a dude, and because of my family, we always cared about people. You know, did I do things that I shouldn't have done? I did. You know, so but it was not necessarily my mother that necessarily made the impact. It was other people speaking into me, telling me that's not what you should be doing. You feel me? So I think that you should at least let them know the ramifications of what they may do, and then let the chips fall where they may. What you got, Lost?
You know what? I'm glad you brought
Either
that up,
question,
man.
either question, you can respond to what I said, or you know, how are married women viewed?
It leans into both of them, to be honest. Married women are a different breed, man. I'm explaining to you what I mean by that. And I came up from an era where women got together and they had Tupperware parties. You know what I'm saying? It was a craft that they did, you know, to see how they can support their families. Their main objective was to support their families in better ways they can do it. They'll sit around, talk about, how to do this, how to do that, that type of thing. It was more of a collective mind frame on how to hold their marriages and their families together. And I'll give you a story, man. My homeboy Chris used to live across the street from us because that's how our neighborhood was set up. Everybody was married, everybody had kids. All of us was like brothers and sisters. So one day, my homeboy Chris' mom had to stay, at work late, and his dad was at work late, so he would hang out with us. So my mom was like, "Well, Chris, we're gonna, we got some extra food left. We're gonna help you. We're gonna feed you till your mama show up or whatever." So my mom asked Chris, "Did he want some cabbage?" He was like, "I don't like cabbage." She was like, "Why?" She said, "The way my mama cook it, it don't taste good." My mom said, "Just try a little bit." And then he said, "You know what, Miss B?" He said, "Nah, I know." She was like, "What?" He said, "I know my mama can't cook." So at that point, it was one of those things. It was one of those things where it was like a community thing. And all of the mothers took care of us in some kind of way. There wasn't a birthday that didn't go get celebrated from each person on the block. There wasn't a milestone that we all didn't celebrate. Most of us played sports. All of us went to the same school together. It was a community thing. All the wives knew what the other wives were doing. You know what I mean? And it was like, Chris's mom could tell me if I was doing something wrong, or my other neighbor's mom could tell something was doing wrong or something like that. Or the dads could say something, and it was like more of a community because we all were responsible for each other. You see what I'm saying? So it was like the mothers or the wives in this instance were the glue to make sure that, we played fair, you know what I mean? That type of thing. And all of us, stuck together, and they kind of looked out for each other. So that is the reason why I say most married women are looked at as valuable because they hold families together. You see what I'm saying? And they actually provide a continuation of the safety of what they would provide from other mothers in the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? Everybody kind of looked out for each other. And it was unselfishness. That's the reason I always tell people, man, unselfish women should be married. I don't think selfish women should be married at all. I don't think selfish men should be married. It's one of those things because you're going to have to continue to sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? And if you look at marriage as one of those things where it's slavery or it's a burden, I suggest that you don't do it, because that's all marriage is. Marriage is a sacrifice. You know what I mean? And my thing is this: people like to think of it as if I'm going to get something back out of it. Eventually you will. That's just how it is. If you're constantly pouring into other people and you allow people to pour into you, you'll get it back. But my thing is if you look at it as a burden, then I would suggest that you don't do that. Let somebody else have that person and let them take care of them, and you figure out whatever it is you need to figure out or work out between you and the good Lord until you straighten yourself out. But don't burden anybody else with your notions if this is a burden in your life and I don't want to be married. It's a ball and chain thing. Because a lot of times, whether or not you've seen it work or not, you know that it works. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes when people have not seen it work, then at that point they question it. And that is understandable, because if you've never seen something work before, that is natural to question it. But my thing is this: we have to make sure that we put forth a good faith effort to give people more examples. And a lot of times people like to say most guys who are married are complaining or whatever. The unhappy guys are the ones complaining, because all the happy husbands, they ain't saying a word. I have never in my life heard my dad complain. I ain't never heard none of my granddaddies complain. I hadn't heard my mamas complain. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Nobody complained like that, because everybody fulfilled their own particular role. And everybody was glad to see each other. One of the greatest things I've ever seen was when my dad came home from work and my mom greeted him at the door. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Or if my mom came home, my dad would greet my mom at the door. To me, that is an example of how you display love and gratitude for somebody in your life. So I always tell people, man, don't get married to somebody that's selfish. And I think you need to root that out in the beginning before it becomes a problem. Or you'll say, well, they changed. Don't mean they didn't change. They just hid it long enough until they got what they needed to get.
What? Dwayne, you finna say something on that? Did you say, Jamie, you and Prototype was laughing about something. What was y'all laughing about?
Because I said I did it for selfish reasons.
You said what?
Yeah.
Selfish reasons.
here's the thing, Prototype. Other people benefit from your selfishness, so that's
Yeah,
still
for
good.
sure.
It's still
For
good.
sure.
Yes.
So it's
Hey,
selfish as heck. Like my selfish is definitely like encompassing, but it's definitely all me.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm
that's
saying?
that's like some mad scientist type of thought
Yeah,
process.
it's
'Cause
definitely
I
like
remember when you said, "Hey, listen, I'm upset at these people not doing it right as it relates to building their kids up to be marriage material because my kids won't have nobody to marry."
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I probably did. That sounds like something I would say.
I remember that.
It sounds like something I would
I
definitely
remember
say.
that. I said that makes so much sense,
Because
but I didn't
I'm
know that
over
you.
here building these super kids, right? And it's all
Yeah,
about it was all about my fantasy. Like I tell them all the time, thanks for being a part of my dream. Because it's my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like I always wanted the, I grew up watching Home Improvement and all those shows. Like we grew up with TGIF, like you know what I'm saying? So I always wanted the family structure, and that's my selfish dream. You know what I mean? So selfish, but not selfish kind of a situation. But yeah, it's all about, and I get angry when we're not functioning that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll throw a whole fit like, hey, y'all not functioning in my dream correctly. Y'all better get it together. You know what I'm saying? And happy wife, you know what I'm saying? Kids better be running around in costumes. If y'all don't get yourself happy, we gonna have some big problems around here. So yeah, like it's like that for me.
But
I
you
would
know, a
like.
Prototype, that's dope because you're giving your kids permission to have their own dreams. And that's good that you're showing them that. That's a good
Oh
thing,
yeah,
man.
for sure.
I just
Hey,
gotta
that's
say,
good.
them TV dads messed us up. I don't care what nobody say. Them TV family
Tell
messed
us
us
why.
up.
Tell us why, Ann.
Cause here you go. I didn't want to be the stay-at-home wife, but I always wanted, the picket with the white picket fence, the husband, the kids. That's why I say I'm content with being just a mom right now because it allows me to focus just on my kids. And like Prototype said, when they get to not functioning how I want them to, yeah, I get a little upset. I get a little crazy. So I have to come in here and take a nap and shut down because it's like I will beat both of y'all. And I do it sometimes, because because what was it? 2 for 1 special. Like when one of y'all acting up and y'all just fighting and arguing for no reason, I'm like, what are y'all arguing for? Y'all act like y'all don't have the same mama. What's wrong with y'all? But I get it. It's a sibling thing. The siblings behind closed doors, they talk about the mom and dad like they not related. And I'm like, I should have really thought about having 2 kids. I really didn't think about this. I did not think this clearly. But yeah, I can agree with Prototype on that. But it's crazy because it's like when it doesn't fit your ideas, like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, why can't y'all get with the program here? This is not how I saw this. Y'all supposed to be loving each other. What is wrong with you? And I was like, you know what, Ash? You watch too much TV because this is not a script. These people have their own identities.
No,
Right
it's
now, they
script for
just
me.
cannot get along.
Like I forced them. I forced everybody to go outside and play catch. We going outside to play catch in the front yard. We're playing catch. I don't want to play. We are playing catch. Mom too. We're all playing
Oh,
catch.
that's what's up. Mom too. Mhm.
Oh yeah. She played college softball. So like yeah, everybody's
So
everybody's
she ain't
playing
got no
catch.
problem with it.
Yeah. We're making a game out of it. We're gonna stand right here in this front yard and show the whole neighborhood why we're the best blackest family ever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
We had a
I'm about
bike
all of that.
day. Everybody in the house outside on the bikes. I got an
Yeah,
air pump. Let's get out.
absolutely. My whole squad, we outside riding bikes together. Absolutely. Yep. It's part of the dream.
That's what's up. Listen,
I hate to say this. Me and Prototype is something
Hey,
like something
prime
alike.
example, HD. Remember you had a live. I came on it. Where was I at? I was in the front yard watching my kids ride the bike. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah. Hey, listen, that's what's up. My kids, they're all different. So like I really like what you're saying, having them go outside and play catch. One, I think we need to do it more often. Our schedules are, like building this marriage, trying to find the schedule that works for us is where we're currently at, right? So the thing that I know that we're gonna want to do is where we go on the bike rides, because that's the bike rides are dope. Going to the park together is dope. Playing basketball, football, all of those things are really good for building camaraderie in the family. You know, you get to actually see how people think. One of the things that we did do, and we got to get back to it, was family game night. So one of the games that we play is what is it? Impersonate. It's on smart TV. So it's basically where you don't see the word. You're standing up there, but everybody else has to describe the word without saying the word, right? And so all of us have played it. Matter of fact, it was the first game that we played as a family before we got married. When Kendra first came over, that's the game that we played. And so we've been rocking that game for a minute now. And that allowed you to see competitive nature. It allowed you to see how individuals communicate with each other. It allowed you to have fun at the same time, get up, be active. So, and very educational at the same time, right? So definitely on board with making sure you do as many family activities as possible. So with that being said, does anybody have anything to add to how maybe you see women that are married, or how people may see women that are married?
I do,
Okay.
because I don't think I answered the question. I think I went on a single mom rant. But anyway, the way I see it depends on who I'm looking at, because some people, like everybody's mentioned, it's like the ball and chain. They're the slave, they're the servant, they're second class citizen. But for me, I think when a woman gets married, that's when you have to step outside yourself, because when your husband falls, and I always say this, you have to govern the house. What if he gets sick? You're the next person in charge. You got the chief, and then you, of course, may feel like an Indian, but sometimes women don't make good decisions. I ain't gonna lie, I don't make good decisions sometimes. I don't like working well under stress, and sometimes you need that balance. And I don't think we see it enough. I think way women are viewed, and the negativity that come with it is when everybody's done, when they think, I'm gonna say think and feel like they exhausted every opportunity, but really they haven't. They haven't stepped outside they self to see what it is they can do better. It's like, oh, I tried. He's not listening. It's like, one, you're not communicating with your partner. You should be able to communicate with your partner when they're having those little breakdowns, because everybody had a down day. Everybody's not 100% every day. And it's your job to kind of figure out your mate, to keep your household running. I think we don't do that groundwork. We like the honeymoon, but we don't do that work. And I think a lot of women now is not understanding that when you go into a marriage, it's work. And that's why I say I don't want to do it right now, because the kind of relationship that I'm going for when I get there is I want to put in that work, like I put in that work at my job to stay there. You get what I'm saying? Because when I get married, that's it. We ain't going nowhere. You upset? Go to the garage and build something. Go cut the grass or something. You upset? Oh well. Hey, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Take a little nap. You need a drink or something? Because I know we're not going to
Are
agree.
you saying that's how you would be right now?
Right now, then too, because
You're gonna
sometimes
tell
you need to separate.
your husband you can't be if you upset
I'm
you
not
need to go
saying
build something.
go cut the grass or
Did I
something.
hear that right?
Yeah, you heard it right. Ain't gonna say it no more. Do you need a timeout? And that's why I say at this point in time, I'm still a little childish. That's why I say I don't want to do it right now. Right now, I want to enjoy a bit of mom. But when I do get into a relationship, I want to put that work in, that foundational work in, because to me, I feel like we don't do that. And that's why women are running in these relationships and running out. It's like, oh, it's a fire. Okay, did you try to put it out? Did you call the fire department? You're just gonna let everything burn for no reason. That's the way I look at it. I told
Jamie,
you I'm
what
always
you think about
wrong.
that? What do you think about what she's saying?
I got a question for Ash, man.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm thinking. I
Ash,
want a woman's perspective. What Jamie think about what Ash said.
go ahead, Jamie.
I respect what Ash said because she was honest with herself. She said she's not ready for that right now with to have a husband to put in the work, because you can't tell him to go take a nap. Like that is definitely gonna start war. Like
She said that she
a
would tell
different
her
type of war.
husband that regardless of when it
It
is.
is going down. Like
You don't know the women in our family. We don't care. We start wars.
see,
Start wars.
Yeah, but I respect she was honest. She's like, I don't have it in me to put in that work, because it takes work to humble thyself and submit.
Does it take
When somebody has been by them,
It's-
if we're having an honest conversation, right? If somebody has been by themselves for a long period of time and they haven't had to answer to or submit to somebody, it's a retraining, right? It's a new situation, so you have to renew your mind in that role.
okay, so you're saying mentally, you're saying you have to, there's mental work that has to be done.
Yeah, and I think if women do this right, if you're a believer and you're submitting to Christ the right way, and going through the word and building a relationship with Christ, you should be ready for your husband, because you have to still listen to God and his instructions, and submit to that, right? Whether you like it or not. And that should be a good foundation there of you starting with that, because now you have a visible person that you can see that's trying to sow into you, to guide you, to do right by you, which is you're having the husband is supposed to be the Christ example in your home, right? And so if he is that, then and you've been doing that prior to with the Bible and the word of God, then it shouldn't be hard for a renewing of the mind, right? To actually do it with somebody you can see. But if that, a lot of women are not doing that. So it's they're going in and they're like, you're not going to tell me what to do. You just not, I've been doing this by myself. I know how to do this. I've survived. You're just not going to tell me what to do. And there's like, if they don't trust God, you know what I'm saying? If they haven't built a trust with God, you're going in and you're saying, trust me, trust you with my life. And I don't even give God that much trust. And that's just real, right? So our practice ground, if anything, should be, with the word of God and our relationship with God. But I understand what Ash is saying. She's being real. She said, I'm not, doing it. Is that right? Probably not, but it is her truth, right?
Yeah, because
it's her honesty.
Yeah. Listen,
Respect my honesty. I didn't say I was always right. I
Do
told
y'all
you
really
I'm always
get
right.
that? Y'all
it's
see,
okay. Go ahead,
I really
prototype.
hear stories like women don't want men to tell them what to do, like in real life.
Hey, we talked about it. Say, hold that thought, prototype. Hold that thought, because we were talking about it backstage. Lost in translation. Go ahead and ask what you was going to ask. Ash.
Let me ask you a question, Donna. You want to be married, right?
Not today.
No, eventually, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, great. Let me ask you a question. What are you doing now that's preparing you for the marriage that you want in the future?
Nothing. I told you I'm being selfish right now. Right now, I'm being a parent. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not, like, right now, I'm being a mom. That's my only focus right now. And once I get rid of them kids and do a little shape shifting, get this mind right. I'm shape shifting, babe. I gotta get back in shape. I don't let myself go too far. But anyway, um, it's like once I get that done, I'll be ready. Like, to me, I have trust issues. I don't trust people with my kids. That's why you see my kids with me 99.99% of the time. And to me, I don't want to introduce somebody in and then you got to work them in. Then you may have to work them out just because it doesn't go right. Like right now, I'm being selfish with my love. Yes. I'm being selfish with me and not wanting to go out and date. I mean, it's not that I can't. That's why I try to tell everybody. It's not about I can't find nobody. It's not that. It's like right now, it's like between my job and my kids, I feel like I've been robbed because I'm not a stay-at-home parent. So I don't get their first time. Somebody else do. I've said this previously. The daycare gets some of the first experience. Or something happened at school. I can't get there and see that because maybe I didn't know in time to get off. Like I can't be the super mom, that's always at every school function. And with me adding somebody in, that's less time with them. That cuts that because now I have to consider this person. He may want to go out a date, or it may fall in line with something's going on with the school and I can't do that. I might have to cancel plans. That's why I always have it in my mind. People that don't have kids should date other people with kids. don't date people with kids if you don't got kids. That's what I mean. If you got a kid, date me. Because why? Because we got kids. We can understand that you got to be flexible. And when we do have our time, we can do whatever we do. But at this time right now, I'm not working on anything. I ain't gonna lie to you. Only thing I'm trying to do is drive the bus, come home, be available for the kids. Because with me being a single parent, I take it seriously. Like, you may not be able to call on the other side, but you can call on me. I'm gonna go get it done. What you need. Like, I don't know how many times I had to go to the school because somebody left something at home after I done got off work. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me right now, that's the selfishness I'm practicing. I want to be there for you more ways than one. And right now, trying to love somebody outside of that, somebody gonna take the back burner. It's not gonna be my kids,
I
because
mean,
I understand that that's not right, but to me, that's right, because I feel their view of me right now, they need me. You know what I'm saying? With being a single parent. Yes, I chose this situation, but at the same time, since I chose it, I got to be 10 toes down, run with it.
let me
Um,
ask you a question. When should you take care of yourself, before or after you get diabetes?
Shoot, in the mix of getting the diabetes, because I'm going to eat. Baby, did you not?
I just,
What?
The reason why I asked that, the reason why I asked that is because I'm forcing people's logic, and I'm gonna tell you why. That'll be the same way as if you get a job and you don't know how to read. You say, "Look, I'll learn how to read when you give me this job." That's not how that works. What you want to do is you want to prepare yourself a little bit along the way so it's not foreign to you when it gets to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a classic example. When I turned 5 years old, that was when my dad started teaching me how to be a husband, because he knew that was going to take a long time. You see what I'm saying? And as a grown man, I have still not stopped learning along the way. I've learned patience along the way. I've learned grace along the way. I've learned wisdom along the way. You know what I mean? How to care for other people, how to be unselfish, how to listen to folks. Those are some of the lessons that you have to learn along the way to prepare yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the old saying, it's better to prepare and not need it than to need it and not have it. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why a lot of women fall prey to this. Just because you're a single mom doesn't mean that you can't prepare for the wife you want to be in the future starting now. So that's the reason why I brought that up, to say, hey, you don't have to put, being a wife on the back burner, because if you do that, you're robbing your kids of the experience of seeing your mother striving to be something that she wants. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want your kids to look back on you and say, Mama, you gave up your life for us and you sacrificed your life for us. And now nobody wants to see the value in you because you didn't learn how to be a wife. But what you do in essence, when you actually take the time out to learn a little bit along the way, your kids get the opportunity to see you grow. And it also gives them the permission to see themselves as somebody who is a lifelong learner as well. And there's nothing more important than to teach a child to actually have reverence for wisdom, knowledge, and practice of what you want to be someday.
Oh, I didn't say I don't practice
I would like to,
let Proto go, Ash, and then you
Okay.
can come. Go ahead.
I would like to also add, my mother took the same approach you did, and it was one of the biggest mistakes that she ever made. You know what I mean? I know you got daughters, and my mom was raising a boy, but her saying, I'm gonna raise this kid by myself. I'm not gonna give him a father. I'm not gonna, ever put a father in his life. And it's put so much turbulence in between me and my mother. I'm not saying that might happen with you and your daughters, because that's a little different. But between me and my mother, we do not get along. We don't have a lot of things in line. And it's because she made her decisions to raise me alone. You know what I mean? And it drastically affected a lot of different things, and how I was raised and what I went through and XYZ. So it sounds noble, and even with my mother, it sounded noble. Like, hey, I made the mistake. I laid down and made the mistake. I'm gonna deal with it on my own. But it was her lack of ability to find a husband and get a stepfather or some type of father figure in my life was probably one of the biggest mistakes she made in raising me by herself.
it's not that they don't have father figures and examples. Those are there. It's just that I talk to my kids about my decision because me, I don't make good decisions. And I'm very, I guess you can say sporadic. I follow in line with Aries symbol. But the thing is, it's like I have their father figures in line. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if I need somebody to step in and do something, I got that. It's just that for me right now, I don't want to. I don't want. It's not that I feel like I get what you guys are saying, but I'm lazy. I don't want to. I just don't want to do it. Like right now, I just want to relax, chill out. Like I feel like in my early 20s, early 30s, that's all I tried to do was date. Sometimes you got to sit down. Sometimes you just got to chill out. That's where them children came from. Trying to date, trying to move fast, trying to move on, and trying to right some wrongs that weren't even there. You know, sometimes like I always say, it's the blindness in your own eye. Sometimes you got to dig in there and get that crust out, and that's what I'm doing. Like I understand, I get it. You know, nobody needs to be alone, right? But when you know you don't make good decisions, and you know that sometimes you go left instead of right, just chill out, and that's all I'm doing.
Are
Like,
you
yeah,
saying are you saying that you are making bad decisions and choosing guys?
just
Is that what you're talking about when you say
yeah,
you make bad decisions?
yeah, just make bad decisions. You know,
Okay,
and I don't want that to affect my kids seeing me and coming in and out. If that makes sense, I guess it's a better way to explain it. It's just that, like I said, I got the father figure lined up. You know, I got they godfathers come in and step in and help me when they can, because you know everybody got lives. It's just that I feel like sometimes you got to sit down, be a
yeah,
grown up and sit
that's
down.
a true statement that you may need to sit down. But we're saying this. This is the thing. I think that a lot of women that are single mothers believe that um, marriage is about them. Marriage is not about just you. Marriage is about the other person as well as your kids. That's what the whole design of marriage was. One of the main things of why marriage was designed is for us to have a union together and then procreate together to build a family together. I would. What's interesting about your statement and what other people have said is that women see it as a mistake. Okay, cool, it's a mistake. We'll go with that premise. So what you're saying is the way that I correct my mistake is to stay in the mistake. That's what you're saying. So as a math teacher, if I was as I'm teaching a lesson, linear equations, y equals mx plus b, right? Everybody probably know it, that's algebra 1. And the student, you was in the class, bro. You just probably wasn't in the class, Dwayne. Okay. So I'm explaining to them how to find the letter M. Well, there's a mistake that's called slope. For those that don't know, you may know it as how much something costs, right? So if I'm explaining it to them and they make a mistake, and if I let them know the mistake, but don't help them understand how to correct the mistake, and then they just leave it as a mistake, then where is the learning? How are they going to get better if they just say, you know what, I made the mistake, so I'm just going to deal with it? Marriage is not about um, just you. It's also about your kids. I don't know if y'all familiar. I was gonna run this tape. Do I have it? This may play right in line. Let me see if I got it. Uh, did I? It was Ray J.
How
It's not it. Did I get Ray J? Uh, Dang, I thought I had it. It was Ray J having a conversation, and they was talking about his happiness. Have y'all seen this video? Yeah, I guess I didn't. I downloaded it to my phone and not to my computer. Um, he's on the Breakfast Club, and they're asking the question. I sent it to you, didn't I, Dwayne? Okay, that's probably what it was. But anyway, and they're saying, "Man, she's trying to get a divorce from you again. Like it's been all this time." He said, "Listen, I'm not gonna give it to her because my kids are happy." They said, "But you're not happy." He said, "I don't care. He said, but my kids are happy. My kids are doing well. And many women will throw away the family because of their unhappiness. When the Bible doesn't say, now if it's infidelity and things of that nature, then I am not staying. You know what I'm saying? And I don't advise anybody to stay unless they can get through that. You feel me? Because that's a distrust and disloyalty and all the things that come with it. But if it's because he have bad spending habits, he is not communicating with you well, he doesn't give you as many compliments as you would like, or y'all not doing a lot of fun and food type of situations, as Prototype would call it. We have grown apart. What are all the other things that they say, right? Then that means that you're not working hard enough. That's what that means. And I talk to men all the time about being in a marriage. Marriage is hard, obviously, but also building your career is too. So which one is more valuable? Which one is more important? Which one will grow you more than ever? Which one will be more beneficial for your kids? That's what I'm saying. That I think that, like my mom did get married to somebody, right? And it works out for some people and some people it doesn't. So if you're not, for the woman that says like that, like saying what Ash is saying, because this is my soapbox, right? That says I don't choose well, then that means you need to get men you trust in your circle. Those godfathers, those mentors, men that you trust, that are married men that you trust. Hey man, this guy that I'm thinking about, can you at least have a conversation with him? Because I'm smitten by him, and I don't really
That's
make
all
that.
the time. Believe it
You
or
know,
not, that's all the time. Like me and my best friend, one of the kids' godfather, like we do this all the time. Like he was just messing with his wife the other what was that, Friday night. He's like, man, I'm trying to get Ash married. She up here acting crazy again. It's not like the conversation is not being had. It's just it's like, hey, what you think about this? What did I say here? That what you think
yeah,
about
that
this?
ain't it though. That ain't
We
it.
I
That's
do
not
it.
it though, Ash. Listen,
No,
what
I'm saying
listen,
like I will send
I'm
like a
telling you,
full
Ash,
conversation.
that is not the way to do it, because
What is
you're
the way to do
giving
it?
him you like, okay, I've had conversations with my coworkers, they're women. They'll tell me what a guy said or whatever, right? Don't matter what you said. Like I need to talk to him. I need to talk to him, and he needs to answer my questions so that I can see how he thinks, how he processes information. Because men will tell you anything. Okay, not all men, but I'm just saying, women, they listen. Man, I'll be at church. Listen, if you go to a church, right, the people that are making the most noise are the who? Or the women. Pastor says something so good, so profound. Oh, you better say it. You better preach, Pastor. Because they're emotional in that regard. Okay, and the preacher knows. Forgive me, man. Most pastors right now don't do what they're supposed to do when it comes to teaching the word. Okay, and I know that because I teach the word. You feel me? And I listen to pastors when they're teaching. They are looking for that dopamine of excitement. That when they get to the point of where they're excited, they know that they're going to have an audience of excitement. And typically, who is enjoying these words are the women. That's why it's important for you to get men to talk to that man if he is an option before he even meets your kids, before you start going on dates. Talk to that man to talk to your other men friends, is what I'm saying. Man, this has been dope. This is phenomenal. Let me get one more question in real quick, unless somebody has something to add, because I went on my soapbox.
You know what, Humble Dad, I'm gonna throw my little piece in there, man. Whenever I get a new girlfriend, I always bring them around my family, and we actually got a name for it. It's called smoking them over. So basically, what it is that she comes around the other little ladies, you know what I'm saying, in my family, and they check her out to see how she moves. You know what I'm saying, to see if she's the type of person. Because I leave the room, You know what I'm saying? And see how she operates. They look at all kind of stuff that I even pay attention to. They say, hey, did she fix his plate? Did she say, yes, dear? Did she say any of those things? You know what I mean? Did she look to help clean up after the fact? Those are the things that we actually need in our family, because that is the cohesion that we look for. We want to make sure that anybody we bring in is on program what we already got set up. So I'm glad you brought that up. Men also do that too, Ashley. It's not just us, because, you know, we get smitten too. You know, we always want to help. You know what I mean? And sometimes it don't always work out that way. But yeah, eventually your aunts be like, "No, that ain't it, nephew. That ain't it." And I trust their judgment. You know.
That's a fact. Jamie, you shaking your head. You had something you wanted to add?
No, I mean, I think men do it too. So like when I was dating a guy, my brother had did that. He was like, when you left, he ordered this for you, like he knew, right? And so just like he leaves the girl with his family, I kind of have done the same thing too. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. Last question before we get out of here. Before we get to it, let people know where they can reach you at. And we'll start with I was gonna go with Ashley, but are you ready? We'll go ahead and get you. Go ahead and get your drink, Ash. I seen you.
It's
Let's start with
ice.
Dwayne.
Don't worry about it. It's just ice. Okay, whatever.
Okay, cool. Where can people find you?
Instagram 360 Doc Diva. I cook and talk noise. Come, or you can find me at home when I'm woke. Home with Dad, Monday night.
That's what's up. Lost in Translation. What you got?
You know, you can find me here on YouTube at Lost in Translation Podcast, also on Sunday nights, also on Monday nights here on Humble Dad Show as well, and also on Tuesday nights on the Black Men Unfiltered under Flipping Tables with Black Men Unfiltered and Lit, and also on Friday nights at the Barbershop. That's where you guys can find me, and also on Instagram. And now I'm trying to work this TikTok thing and see how this thing gonna work out. But that's how you can reach me.
Is it times on that?
No times.
Okay.
I'll throw it up. It's a surprise. You know what I'm saying?
I Prototype on you.
Man, you can find me at Prototype Kingdom Podcast on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're also on Spotify. Find us all over the place, man. You can't miss us.
That's what's up, Jamie.
you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and YouTube at Jamie Radiance Moorhead 7. All the time.
That's what's up all the time. Hey, she interviewed me a week ago. It's dope. Just saying, you know what I'm saying. You get to know a little bit more about Humble Dad.
It's fine.
And,
Thank you.
And then she interviewed the wifey today.
Oh, we have fun. Like every time you say that, I'm like, we have fun. I'm sorry.
Comedian, just so you know. My wife is a comedian. Dwayne, on you.
Monday nights here with HD in the panel, having a good time, great conversation. And DwayneJonesPhotography.com. That's where you can find me.
That's my bad, man. I ain't mean to put that in your face like that. Shout out to Developing Dad. I haven't seen him in a minute. I think I had interviewed him as well as a dad, I want to say, almost a year ago. Shout out to you, bro. All right. So the question before we get out of here, we've been talking a lot of things. Let me see. It's going to be about marriage being a mirror. And it doesn't matter who wants to go first, and everybody doesn't have to speak, but whatever you say, however you go is how I'm gonna go. Is marriage a mirror, or is it your spouse? What I mean by that is it the marriage that it is that you're looking at yourself? What is that the lens that you're seeing yourself through, or is it your spouse? Because they say the statement of your wife is a reflection of you, or your husband is a reflection of you. So is it the marriage, or is it your spouse? What's your thought process? Who wants to go first? That's exactly what we call it.
I said I'd say my little piece. Good grief. Chill out. Why is you so on fire today? Lord have mercy.
I don't know. Maybe it's the new start time. You know what I'm saying? I know that
that's why you got so much energy. Okay, never mind. I would say for me, from what I've seen, is that is the spouse is kind of a mirror image of who you are and what you're trying to get done. Now, for the marriage, I'm not sure about that part. That I'm not sure. Only to say that you see so much friction, and sometimes people don't resolve their friction, and that's why they grow apart. Again, this is just from my unwedded eye. But I would say that if you're in the marriage for the right reason, I would say your spouse can be a mirror image of your wants and goals and how you get towards it. But again, I could be wrong, as always.
Who you got going next?
Prototypes. Is he so mad?
Um, you ever look at an old couple and realize how much they look alike?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should tell you right there, what a marriage is, right? The more y'all spend time together, the more y'all start to edify and become they look alike. And in most cases, they die together. Like one person dies and the other one dies not too long after because they just can't see themselves. Like, why am I here? So I would definitely say the marriage, the spot, it's all it's a mirror, yes, but it molds together and y'all become Siamese twins to a degree, like you know what I mean. Like it even happens with dogs. Like the longer you have your dog, the dog starts to look like you. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, you just look at two 80-year-old couple, man, and you're like, dang, they just look alike, they walk alike, they move in the same pace, same stride, same glasses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just look alike. So no, it's definitely it's both, right? So that's how I'll go with it.
That's what's up. Who you got going? Who you got going next, Proto?
I'll let Dwayne.
Oh man, appreciate that. Uh-oh. Uh sorry, the kids moving around.
That is cute enough, man.
I appreciate
That
that.
was God's timing right there, bro.
And they humming at it, boy, right now. They having a whole blown conversation out there. Like I got stuff to do. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, mirror. So as y'all were sitting there talking, I was thinking about like there's reflecting and deflecting. And speaking of, come on up here, pop in real quick. Since you're here, say hi to the people, and go back your way.
Hi.
All right, mission accomplished. Close that door. Love you. Good night. So I look at it from the standpoint of people spend money for a good mirror, especially like women, right? A beauty mirror, right? That could zoom in and get real tight in there. Even the fancy ones with the light, right? They'll spend money for that because they want to see those things. But then I would look at that like a healthy relationship. On the other side, y'all ever been to the circus or the fair? And they got that one room, right? They got a whole bunch of mirror in there. And you walking through that joker, one of them make you look short. That's mine by default. Anyways, another one make you look big. Another one make you look all weird, right? I think I look at it like a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. Sometimes whenever you're not being an accurate mirror to your spouse, you're going to make them out to look like something that they're not, and it's not beneficial to them. But then sometimes you'll give a healthy reflection where they look up close and they really see certain things that are off, and they appreciate whenever you're able to point that out to them because they don't want to be walking around with spinach in their teeth. They don't want to be walking around with something on them that they can't see except for somebody who's honest to be able to point that out to them. So I look at it from a standpoint of healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. And trust is very important in that because somebody could tell you got something on your face, but it takes trust to believe them or not, to make the effort to go and actually see what it is that they're talking about. So it's all about the trust and the perspective and whether or not somebody's reflecting back to you accurately or not. Love, I believe, will then reflect back, and then it's an important and an imperative to you, rather than deflecting, to reflect on what that person's shining back on you. Every feedback is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, whether negative or positive. 2 cents.
Man, that was a dime piece, bruh. That was a dime piece. Who you got going next, homie?
Who went? Yeah, they know.
Jamie.
Come
They
on
know.
with it, Jamie.
Well, so I think women are always complaining about intimacy and not having that. But if you look at the way Dwayne explained it, which I completely agree with, a part of intimacy is into me, you see, right? So like you're going to be able to see the things that I cannot see about me or that I don't want to see about me. It's like having the best accountability partner to then show you, but also be there to guide you in the right direction, right? That's where the two flesh become one, because you don't want your partner to lose, because then you lose too, right? And so I do agree with him, with Dwayne again too, where it depends on what the mirror looks like or what type of mirror, or if the person can be trusted with what they're saying to you. But that's my answer. What was your question again? Just make sure I clarify that answer. Is it the spouse that is the mirror or the marriage, right?
Yes.
And I would say both, because it's a new situation for everybody, right? There's the level of commitment, the contractualness of it, where we are in this for real. The covenant of that marriage is new to both people. So you're having to live by this covenant, as well as being able to have your intimate partner look at you and say, hey, you're flawed here. And it's affecting me personally, but it's affecting the marriage and this household as well. And the part of this covenant, you're not holding up your end of the bargain. And so that's my answer. Okay. Let's go with Lost. I don't think Lost has answered. Has Lost answered? Ash answered, right? Okay, Lost.
Here's my answer. I don't think that marriage or your spouse is a mirror. I think they're windows. And I'll explain to you why. Oftentimes, when we go around people, sometimes you can always tell that somebody who's had their window closed for a while because it's kind of stuffy. You ever been in a house before and the people don't ever let the windows up and let the breeze come through? That's how I think sometimes people, they conduct their heart. You know what I'm saying? They don't open and let the breeze in. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of times, man, we have to look at this window, because here's the thing: certain people bring things out of you. That's the reason why we have these broadcasts, is because certain people say certain things, and it causes me to pull something out of me that I didn't know that was there. And sometimes your spouse is a window as well, and you'll be able to look into them and pull some stuff out of them that they didn't have. And what you do is you share that information. And eventually what you'll do is you'll marvel at what you had in the other person. You ever been around somebody, man, and you're always learning something from them, or they're always teaching you something? That's a breath of fresh air. And I think a lot of times if we don't put our shades up, and so often we won't be able to open up and allow each other to exchange that wisdom and that knowledge that we have. Think about it. The person that you're dealing with has had a whole entire life of experiences that you know nothing about. And likewise with yourself. But it isn't until you open up the windows of your own heart and let them in to see exactly what's going on, and they do the same, that's the only time that you'll be able to appreciate somebody. It's nothing like looking into somebody's heart and you see sunshine. You know what I mean? And you see, those things that cause the breeze to come through, like, oh man, this is a good person. They're always helping somebody. They're always doing things. They're always being unselfish, and then some people, you open up the window and you see rain, and he's like, man, that person always thinking cloudy. They're always having something negative to say, but it is until you find somebody who had as much sunshine as you, that's when you appreciate that. So I don't think it's necessarily a mirror. I think it's more of a window and an opportunity for you guys to share or introduce yourselves back to yourself through your spouse.
That's phenomenal. That's dope. I do think that I go with what you all said. I think it was Jamie and Prototype. I think y'all said both. I would say that it's the marriage is a mirror because like you said, there's a covenant in which you have to. That's the standard. So you have to look at that standard. Am I being a good husband? For me, I have to say, am I being a good husband? Am I listening to my wife? Am I loving her? Am I learning her? Am I or am I being a liability to her? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that I'm doing that is going to kind of propel her to be who it is that God has called her to be, not just for me, not just for my kids, but even for herself and for his glory, right? And so I would say that also, as Prototype eloquently stated, you know, he said before in a particular podcast, he said, well, you're the CEO of your company and is ran in the way that you lead. And so if my wife is responding a certain way, then there's an element of me that has allowed her to be that way or has contributed to some regard to how she's responding, right? Not all the time. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not letting him off the hook, but I'm also putting myself on notice to the point of that I know that there are certain things that I may say that is going to cause her to respond in a way that I know that's not going to be beneficial for us, you know, in our conversation, right? So I would say that it's both. And one, to the marriage being a mirror is the covenant of the Bible and how I should be as a husband. And then from my wife's perspective, she is a mirror of me, because if she is not growing, then I would say that's a reflection of me not doing my job. Right. So that's my take. It's been a dope show as usual. I appreciate my people coming through, the regulars, as we call them. And there's some people that hopefully will be back next week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also go check out everybody else's podcasts and Instagrams and whatnots and what's going on. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.